What's up, everybody? We're live at the Johnny I Pro Show. I have here no other than Gisele Shaw. Welcome.
Woohoo, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Hey, listen, now, what is going on with you now? What's new?
Well, what's new is that we have Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling coming up here at the Mattamy Athletic Center, formerly known as the Maple Leaf Gardens.
Pretty more iconic than that.
I know, right? So it's super, super exciting, and obviously it is so historic because there's never been a women's champion at MLP before.
Perhaps we see the first one here.
Could be. You never know. Yeah.
Before we get into that now, let's get right into like what the fans love to hear. Now, I want to know, what got you into wrestling?
So I actually grew up watching wrestling with my family, my grandmother specifically. And she'd always, talk to me about like, oh my God, did you see it? Did you watch it? Whatever. So it's like my connection with her, right? And it's pretty cool because she'll talk to me about this female wrestler who was like super jacked and like opened the cage and stuff and whatever. It was China. She's like, yeah. She's like, oh my God, do you remember that? And I was like, no, I didn't see it. But then like we rewatched it and I was like, this is so cool. So yeah, it was definitely her that got me into wrestling.
I love it. And your whole background, you're Filipino as well, right? Filipino. Wow. So tell me, like, how is wrestling big there?
It's huge. Yeah. I mean, it's very real to me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like it's pretty cool, right? Like WWE, WWF back then was just such a,
the mecca of wrestling, basically.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it was just so cool. Like all these characters, all these people and like entrances and everything. And that's what really made me fall in love with it, the storytelling of it. So it's just, yeah, it's pretty cool. I never really thought that I would become a wrestler myself. Like it's like a dream.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I don't even know how you would get into it. Like I thought like you would go walk in a mall or something or whatever and then get discovered.
And here you are now.
And here we are. I did not walk in a mall and get discovered.
I gotta ask now, who were your inspirations?
So Trish Stratus. Hello.
Yeah.
Love her so much. Like the divas like really got me really into it because it resonated with me. But I mean, you got the Ultimate Warrior, Triple H, Undertaker.
Wow, these
Stone
are heavy
Cold.
hitters, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like all those people, like I really, really love wrestling, and it's pretty cool because it's just it like I said with the characters, it's like it was just so over the top.
Yeah.
And I just love it so much.
You can be yourself for sure. Now I gotta say now, Lance Storm Academy. Like tell me your time there coming up.
Oh my God. It was super surreal because Lance was one of those people that I watched on TV, and then I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, I actually went to my first indie show in Edmonton. I went to like the gym, and then like these couple guys who were wrestlers, they were like, hey, do you want to come watch me, like wrestle? And I was like, is this kind of like pro wrestling or is this just like, Olympic wrestling, which I actually did for 3 months in high school. So
look at that.
Whatever. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool. I really, I was just like, yeah, like I'll come watch it. And then I will always remember, and I'll always tell this story, that after my first indie show, I went up to the promoter and I was like, hi, I would like to be the next Trish Stratus. Where do I sign up?
Love it.
It's
like confidence was still
yeah.
still
I was like, yeah, I'm like, this is what I want. This is what I was born to do. And then he's like, well, you know what, like that's cool. That's great. You have dreams, but you need to get trained. And then, he's like, find a reputable school and then go get trained. Wow. So I searched up Lance Storm and the rest is history. I walked in and I looked at him and I was like, oh my God, like this is, like just marking out, Love you, Papa Storm.
What was your first match? Do you remember that? Do you recall like your first, like?
I do. My first match was a singles match against Kat Von Hees, and it was like pretty cool. Like she and I, there was just not a lot of women wrestlers, I guess, like where we lived in Edmonton. So she and I were pretty much like married. Yeah.
How's the Edmonton scene growing up for wrestling?
Well, I mean, compared to now, like it's boomed so much now. Like back then, there was nothing. And that's like with, the exact same thing with everywhere in Canada back then. You'd have to travel to get opportunities. It's not like just now where you have the internet, you have all these access. If you really, really want to become a wrestler and pursue it, like I think it's so much easier now than do it back then.
Of course. And let's talk about the moment that you got signed to Impact. Like, how was that moment for you?
It was pretty surreal. I never really thought that I would get an opportunity to sign with them. So for me, it was like, you know what? On my first year, actually, I had a tryout with WBE. And, you know, they're like, yep, get you a contract, all that stuff. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, this is sick. You know, like on my first year, first try, like, whoop-de-doo. But then, you know what? Like, Universe always has different plans for you. And so, you know, they said, go get more experience. Went to Japan, did all these fun stuff, went to the UK. And I really do believe that if you stop kind of like pursuing it and wanting it so bad, sometimes because you get so consumed by it, that I was like, you know what? Let me just take a step back. And then just focus on myself, focus on the wrestling. That's when I had, you know, just killing it in the UK, loved it there. And then Scott Moore and Gail Kim actually messaged me and reached out and, you know, asked me if I was wanting to sign.
Amazing. Now, you see, like, you just said right there as well, like, you just let it come to you. 'Cause sometimes it's the truth. Like, in life, if you just want something so bad, like, I mean, you could go, but it just, it's also, I think, manifestation's big as well. You just said you paved your way just there. Let's talk about your time in Japan now. You just said Japan. How was that for you?
It was incredible. You know, like, I almost looked at it as it was like a hurdle, not getting signed, you know, and I was like, okay, like, how do I overcome this? You know, I was given an opportunity to prove myself that, hey, you know what, like, not right now, and show them, like, okay, you know what, like, I'm getting better. I'm going to do this. Like, this is what I want. I know it's an obstacle, but I'm just going to crush that obstacle, and then I'm going to show you that I did it. And yeah, it was so cool. My first tour actually was with Reina, and I was there for 3 months. It was super cool. I love the culture, love the people, but it was so crazy too that, you know, when you're there by yourself, didn't really know anybody, and it's just like, yep, I'm in a country where, you know, not a lot of English speakers, really, and then like the only time that I get to speak English with people was, you know, at a show.
You just got to adjust to it, basically.
I did. And you know what? Like, that's all we got to do as a human being, right? Like, you have to adapt to wherever you are.
I got to say, one character was really good, the quintessential character right there. Like, how did that all come about there? Who's behind that?
So I've always said, you know, the quintessential diva is an all-around wrestler. You know, like, you're not just, like, one thing. You can do everything, right? So it's like you can do technical, you know, power, submissionist, what else is there? You know, like, there's different kinds of wrestler, all of it, you know, so you can do it all. High flyer.
Exactly. And now your finisher.
The
I watched some highlight. Yeah. Was it the shock and awe, is it called?
No, so that's a different move.
Yeah, that was something like,
oh, thank you.
I don't know how that came up. That was like, that's iconic. I see that was pretty good.
That's actually the lethal injection. So yeah, with, you know, a little spice.
Now, you said names before that. You said Gail Kim and then Scott D'Amore as well. Let's start with Scott. Like, what does Scott mean to you?
Well, it's pretty cool, right? Like, watching him growing up, and it's like, see him with a microphone, you can never stop talking. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's pretty cool, right? Like, Team Canada, like, you think of Team Canada, like, you think Scott D'Amore.
Creative genius, as I call him.
Right? Yeah. So, inventor of the Canadian Destroyer.
And now Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling.
Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling.
I love it. I got to say right now, too, now, Gail Kim, you're on this, was it City TV show? Was it?
The Amazing Race.
How did that come about? I just found out 2 days ago. How did that come about?
It was super cool because, you know, it was actually Gail that had the opportunity first, and she was looking for a partner. And, you know, we talked about manifestations, and that was like a show that I've always wanted to do. Yeah. Since, I don't even know. But I was like, yeah, again, you don't really, you know, it's like I want it, but it's like, I don't know. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, you know. And yeah, she was just like, hey, like, I'm doing the show. I was wondering if, you know, you'd be interested. And it was like, yes. Of course I am. Like, and it's so cool too, right? Because Gail Kim is like one of those people that I looked up to growing up as well. And for her to ask me to do that was like incredible, first and foremost. And then second, it's like I get to hang out with the person outside of wrestling, right? Because sometimes like you just see each other and you go to work and then you're like, okay, see you, goodbye, you know, until next time.
So you did like that relationship with her?
Yes.
Especially, like, did you have a relationship with her? Like, how was Gail Kim? Like, what did she mean to you?
I mean, another Canadian, right? Like, it's such a representation, you know, with Trish, right? It's like, first of all, female, Canadian, awesome. With Gail Kim, it's like seeing myself that's like, oh, an Asian person, you know, like killing it in the wrestling business. Like, sometimes it's so unheard of. And now there's a lot of us, which is incredible.
A lot. Now, I got to ask now, I seen a recent interview, Roxanne shouted you out. Who would she like to face in NXT? Can you ever, I mean, will that ever fall in plans? Would you like to go there? I know you had tryouts as well before.
Yeah. You know what? Like, I'll always say never. You know, I feel like I have so much to give. And if the universe gives it to me, I think that would be so incredible. And I always love Roxanne, you know, and she's such a badass. And I mean, the magic that we could do.
Imagine, yeah, exactly. And I gotta say, you had massive success in the UK. Rev Pro, were you a 2-time champion, I believe?
2-time Progress Women's Champion.
Yeah, let's talk about that right there.
Yeah, no, it's so cool to go there as, you know, as an import, right? Because it's like you start from the bottom of the ladder, and like I have no problem doing the hard work. You know, I love it. It's such a challenge to me, and it's like if you tell me that I can't do it, like I'm gonna prove you wrong. Yes. Yeah. So it was really cool. I went there originally just for 3 months, so I can be like, you know what, I want to prove myself. I don't even know what I was doing in my life. I was just like, I'm gonna come here and see where this goes. You know, and it was just, again, you know, with it just history, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it was super cool. I'm so honored, you know, to be even like a champion in the UK, you know, and then like the only person to hold that championship and international, you know, talent, I say, both Progress and the Rev Pro champion at the same time.
So let's talk about Progress there as well.
Yeah.
Like, well, I wouldn't say, I don't want to put them on the spot. What is more, I even asked as well, I had Jody on the show and stuff. They're talking about UK with also, I believe, Luna, her tag team partner, which is from the UK. Yeah. Interesting, like the atmosphere now in the UK. Did you like feel that? Like they said it was completely different than anything you see here. Like the crowd gets into it. It's like, I guess, a hostile, like soccer vibe, I'm guessing.
Yes, I love, oh God, they're European fans. I love their European fans because it's so, you know, like in Japan, it's so quiet and they're like, yay, you know, and you're like, it's so weird right now. Like, I'm not really quite sure, you know, like, like it's just so quiet, but you get used to it. Yeah. In North America, like, it's like they heckle, you know, like whatever. But European fans are like the best fans.
Different nature.
Yeah. Like I was like, when I first came there and they started chanting and singing someone's name, I was like, you know what, my goal is to have these guys, like, I'm going to win them over and I want them to sing my name. And I came out and they started singing and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
You're winning.
So, yeah, I love it.
You battled Jordynne Grace for the TNA Knockout Championship and No Surrender. Let's talk about that. Now let's talk about how she even progressed right now to being the star that she is. But let's talk about that match right there. How's it been in the ring with Jordynne Grace?
You know, like you learn so much every single time that you're in the ring with her. But I feel like you should always learn. You know, you can always learn from someone else whenever you're in the ring. But she's just on another level. And I love it because when you wrestle her, she elevates you as well. You know, so it's like I've learned so much and I just love her. And I'm just so happy for her that she's just crushing it, you know, everywhere she goes. Because she has always been a star. And like, just not now, but, you know, it's like even back then. Exactly.
Now, you're one of a kind, as in you won the Ultimate X, which not that many do win. Crazy there. So that match there, just the whole atmosphere, just to get up there and do what you got to do.
That was like super scary.
Yeah, of course. I can imagine.
You know, it's like you don't really know how high it is. Because like you got up to, you know, the top rope, for example, right? And you're like, oh, like this is really high. Like you had to climb, like I don't even know how many feet. And then crawl or whatever you do, you know, across like in the middle of the ring. Yeah. It was intense. It was scary. Yeah. But we got the job done. And you know, I think I'm the only TNA. I mean, like Tasha Steelz, Tasha Steelz won that like in Impact.
But as in now.
So
yeah, history over here.
No, I mean, yeah. I'm like, it counts at Impact, but TNA, I'm on the only one so far.
Love it. Now, if you could pick out your fondest moment before you go on to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, now your fondest moment in Impact, what would it be for you? Besides being signed.
You just being able to work with so many wonderful people, honestly. You know, like, I never would have thought that I'd work with Mickie James. You know, Mia Yim.
She gave you a kiss?
Yeah. You would know. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm like, did that happen? And I was like, oh, like, that's so cool because I watched her growing up. And then, you know, like, when Trish and Mickie had that.
Had the little thing, yeah?
Yeah, had that storyline. And she kissed Trish all the time. I was like, cool. So if I kissed Mickie, then maybe I kissed Trish too.
You're winning.
You're winning. You know what I mean? Yeah. Gay life.
I love it. Now let's get right to, as you said before, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. You already had, I believe, 2 previous events. Now coming to the mecca of Canadian wrestling, the Gardens. Yes. It doesn't get any bigger than that, especially here in the city of Toronto, even in Canada in general. And you're a part of it. Let's talk about that right there. But before you do, the Forged and Excellent Night 1. You had a back-to-back night right there. First, Miyu. How was that match right there?
Hard-hitting. You know, like, the Pink Panther, right? Like, she hits hard, she kicks hard, but I kicked harder. You know, and here's the thing, right? Like Japanese wrestlers, like they're so well known for like hard hitting, all that stuff, and sometimes you just gotta give it right back. You know, like how are you supposed to win if you don't give it right back? But she's so awesome, and I love her so much.
And then night 2 against Athena for the Ring of Honor title, which is huge.
So she and I actually were roommates in my first tryout like years ago. I know, and then she got signed, and you know, and we've never really crossed paths wrestling until that night.
That was the first match.
That was the first match.
Wow. How's in the ring with her then? After all that, right there,
it was so cool. It was like, you know, surreal. It was like a nice catch up. Like, hey, I know I haven't seen you in a long time. Let's
get into it.
Of each other. You know, and I really think that she's one of those wrestlers too that, you know, just like Jordynne, every single time that you wrestle her, you just turn into this person where you're like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm so much better than what I was yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've noticed too, it's not even a trend, it's the talent that Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling has, like even woman-wise too. Like there's so many, like, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, it's so cool with Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, right? Because it is a platform for not just like Canadians, but mostly it's Canadians, right? Like we like to find the best of the best in Canada, so you can have this platform and then use it to go against the very best in the world. So, you know, like I said before, like it was so much harder as a wrestler, you know, in Canada before, because I'd have to travel like so long and trying to get my name out there. And now like there's a company, like the first major company here in Canada, you know, and it's amazing to like say that, like Canada finally has a major promotion.
Got goosebumps there.
I know, right? Like it's so cool. So it's such a great opportunity, and yeah, like I hope that everyone just keeps watching, and we're just going to keep smashing it.
Exactly. Then also you had the quarterfinals, and the semifinals, and now you're in the finals. You were the first ever women's champion at MLP, I believe, right?
Yes.
So
hopefully.
Yeah. How are you feeling right now?
You know what? Like, I haven't really, it hasn't registered, you know, because I haven't seen even the gardens myself. So like for me, it's just like, you know, you see it on TV, but I've never really seen it in person. So I'm going to have goosebumps going into that. But also it's a lot of pressure. I think that, you know, whoever holds the women's championship, like going forward, you know, like we're going to prove every single time that we're going out there that like this is the standard. Like we don't want it to be just a women's match, you know? Like I want it to be like a match that's going to rival like the whole entire card. Exactly. You know, like I want to leave out of there and be like, that was the best match.
People talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's the first ever potentially. Well, and obviously before we start, I'm going to say before we even end this, got to give your flowers to you as well. Been in the game for how long now? How many years?
10 years.
Not that many could say that.
No.
Like just all the hard work and dedication, which the fans they don't really see all that hard work and dedication that really goes behind the craft. They're quick, obviously, sometimes to judge based on a match or whatever it is, but you run out. Championship fight, Maple Leaf Gardens, May 10th. Doesn't get any bigger than this.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just super excited about it. Like there's really, sometimes there's just no words, you know, like when I sit down and really think about it, how enormous this opportunity is, and we just can't wait to deliver it. You know, Kylie and I know, you know, we're not really seeing eye to eye at the moment, but you know what? I know for a fact that we're going to leave it out there, and yeah, it's going to be incredible.
There's a message to the fans, what they have in store for that night.
And you know what? Keep watching and just be prepared, you know? Grab that popcorn because it's going to be an incredible night. It's going to just be magical, historical, and it's going to be worth it. Every single second of it.
Amazing. Now, I gotta say now, you yourself, like say now the LGBTQ community, an ambassador, an inspiration to many. Obviously, we all thank you because you're just an amazing person overall. And I really see people now that look up to you and be like, wow, like, you know, like they're in your shoes, but you're like doing it with so much courage and so much passion and just an amazing person overall. Like people that just look up to you right now. Any message to them?
Yeah, you know what? You're never alone. Like, we're always here. We're always going to support you. And just keep going. You know, and who cares? Who cares about what people say? Because I feel like whatever people say or towards you or judge you or something, whatever, it's only valid if you let it affect you. Like, at the end of the day, words are words. And You know, like you could curse at me in a different language, and if I don't understand it, like it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So it's like I feel like we just need, like, you know, whatever hate that is, you just go, yeah, like it doesn't matter to me.
Love it. I love it. Like I said, I'll go into wrestling now. Dream match. If you could have a dream match for yourself, somebody from the past and the present, fans usually love to hear this. Obviously, you could. Trish is one of yours. I could tell. Of course.
Yeah. You know, I've always said that the 4 horsewomen, right? I'd like to throw my hat in there.
So there's Sasha. Well, Mercedes,
you know, Becky, Bailey, Charlotte. You know, I've been calling her out for like years now. So, hey, Charlotte.
if you could make now your own 4 horsewoman, who would it be?
Like, including me or not?
Yeah,
no, I'm just
your own. Yeah, so your own. So you got 3 more.
No, you know what? Jordynne Grace.
Yes.
Toni Storm. And I'm gonna say Roxanne.
Yeah, that's a good mix, right? Yeah. I love it. Now, if you could have a Mount Rushmore, not any Mount Rushmore, Canadian wrestlers, what would it be for you?
Women wrestlers or just...
No, you want to do women? You could do women if you want. It's whatever your heart wants.
And you know what? I would say Josh Alexander, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, there is no Mount Rushmore. Without Josh.
Happy for him right now, actually.
Oh my God. He's just
deserves
smashing it. Yeah. Very well deserved. Mike Bailey.
Another one.
My God. Who else is like super killing it right now?
Put yourself in there if you want.
Oh, I could. I didn't want to say it. You know, I have to be humble. You know, and you know what? Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Like, she's smashing it right
Killing
now.
it.
Yeah. You know, and whatever she's, like, you know, thrown at her, she's just like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll do it. And then she makes the most of it.
Exactly. Now, last question I gotta ask now. When it's all said and done, what do you want people to remember Gisele Shaw as?
That's a tough question. I hope that people will remember me as someone who, you know, it's like whatever the haters... You know, it's like inspiring. Of
course,
Someone who's able to inspire people.
If you don't have haters, you're not winning.
Yeah, exactly. That means you're not doing anything right. But, yeah, like, I think that someone who's inspiring to, you know, the future generation. Like, that's all I really want to do is I want them to kind of like how I looked up to the people that came before me. Like, if they can find me or looked at me as like a beacon of hope to keep going in life, like, I'm happy.
Like I said before you started, I want to give you your flowers. Like, you're just one of a kind. Everybody loves you. Inspiration, an ambassador, as I like to call it. Like, thank you so much for being on this show. And May 10th, it goes down, guys. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Not the main event. Before main event, I'm guessing?
I'm not sure.
Well, anyway, she's a main event player. May 10th is going down. Perhaps the first Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling champion right here.
Maybe we'll see.
You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.